For those of you who I haven't met yet, I'm Yuri, and on behalf of Mom and Dad and Pearlie, I'm really excited to welcome everybody to Charlotte. Thank you. I apologize, I don't have a microphone, so I hope you can hear me. Anyway, I've been really excited about this speech for a while, and I have a lot to say. I've known Sylvie for a long time now, so I hope you'll bear with me for just a couple minutes. I am really happy to be here, welcoming everyone to celebrating these two people's wonderful wedding weekend. I guess this is sort of like the kickoff for most people. And when I was writing this, I started thinking, Encore and Sylvie. Sylvie and Encore. It has a nice ring to it, right? Both ways. It's always beautiful when two people, two names, become intertwined. And I guess it's even easier when both of you are already named Shaw. But today, there is one thing I do want you guys to think about and remember before I go on. And it's that after this, I mean, you guys are already both named Shaw, but after this, there's no more Lone Ranger, no more solo flying. For the rest of your life, you're going to be buy one, get one free. So you better get used to it. And for those of you who have met Sylvie, which I guess is most people, I'm sure that you're thinking, you know, this girl, right? Like, getting used to it's going to be a breeze. You know, she's almost as sweet as she is beautiful. How bad can it be? Well, my job tonight is to tell you how bad it can be. I met Sylvie 8.5 years ago when I was an undergrad and she was in graduate school at Chapel Hill. I was her sister's her little sister's first boyfriend, and she was, well, let's just say she wasn't my biggest fan at that point in time. When she wasn't glaring daggers at me, she was spending her time sort of plotting and scheming. That may sound dramatic, but I'll tell you a little story about one time when she succeeded. So one time I asked Sylvie to teach me a polite phrase in Gujarati for complimenting somebody's cooking. And she told me that the word for cooking in Gujarati is jadi chadi. So you can imagine what happened when at Chapel Hill, at a university function, I told this very respectable middle-aged woman, I love your jadi chadi. For me, the spicier the better. I think that her plan at that point was to get some enraged auntie to take me out of the picture with a frying pan. And it almost happened, actually. But despite that rocky start, over the next few years, when I refused to disappear, we eventually started getting along and then even loving each other as sister and brother. We've helped each other a lot through some difficult times, and I realized at some point in that she isn't just another pretty face, or even an intelligent one, Dr. Shaw. But really, she's a deeply caring person with incredible capacity for love and honesty, and self-criticism, and empathy, and sacrifice. And I've learned a lot from her in these ways. In fact, I have to admit that although I do have high standards for my sister, I eventually came to believe that her one glaring fault is her awful, irredeemable taste in men. Nobody was good enough for me. She'll have to forgive me when I admit that when I first met Encore, I was highly suspicious. This guy was too handsome, like too well-dressed, too good-looking. He seemed to have every single one of his fingers and toes, and I was counting. And even more importantly, he seemed to really care about like ideas, people, the world. I kept on waiting for the axe to fall, but it never did. Soon, like, be careful